Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We're playing a Vampire Air Elementalist, recently of Kiku for week 6 of the Crawl Sudden Death Challenge. We finally found that Kiku altar, and sadly, it was shortly after finding a Book of Necromancy, which, I don't know, if I had known I had a Book of Necromancy coming, maybe I could have gone Mokleb. But, you know, the book gifts aren't the only reason that I went Kiku. You know, Kiku's given abilities, being able to invoke Torment and being able to request corpses, they're both great for a vampire, for a necromancer. So, I'm still, like, reasonably happy with this choice. Alright, so we're gonna head downstairs here to Dungeon 10. I'm still getting, like, not the best network connectivity, it seems like sometimes. I think next game I play, I'm going to try playing on CSDO or something instead of CAO. But this game, we're just going to have to tough it out, I guess. It's not terrible. So let me check here my spells, right? So Animate Dead is quite castable, and I should maybe be looking into learning other stuff in that book, but none of it is that great. Like, I don't know, I guess Pain could be okay as a better single target spell. We'd have it probably at higher spell power already, right? No, it's maxed. Yeah, okay. So yeah, let's just shoot some stones at this guy, I guess. And then, yeah, zapping is just stronger. I should not really be using this sling in any kind of at all relevant fights. Unless I badly need to save mana, I guess. But that's hard to believe. Please, I think I said zap. Oh, I guess it did zap. It just was so fast that I missed it. All right. That time, no lag. Okay, and let's, like, static discharge. Yeah, that's pretty good. I wonder if we need any more spell casting yet. Because I've only killed, like, those 3 things, and I'm almost out of magic. Yeah, I'm gonna go back upstairs and rest just in case. So, I don't know. If we're stair dancing, it seems like the magic is not a huge issue. Oh, there was a book down there. I was sort of figuring Auto Explorer would pick it up, but it seems to have prioritized going north rather than going south where the book was. I keep forgetting I have Animate Dead. I should be a little bit more thoughtful about whether I bottle up corpses or use them. Book of the Warp, I don't think has anything that we're really going to want. Warp Weapon is good in general for this sort of character, but vampires are bad at translocation. I don't know how good they are at charms. They're okay. But no, not that, this. We can't really use Warp Weapon because it like buffs your melee weapon, basically, which we won't be using this game. I mean, again, there's still time to back out, but having found Necromancy, I don't foresee myself choosing to decide to start using a melee weapon. There's this Crimson Imp. I would like to kill him without, like, getting the Ogre and the Killer Bee both on me. Come on, get zapped. Be dead. Alright, whatever. And ogres are not a huge issue, but I don't want to attack one at low magic. Okay, that seems alright. There we go. Did the double bounce? No. Okay, got him. So I don't remember if you get at what you get at 1 star of Kiku Piety. Is the first thing you get a spell book, or is it the ability to request corpses? I would be reasonably happy with either one, because the spell book will likely contain a spell or two that we don't have yet, in addition to the ones that we already have from the Book of Necromancy. Why did this killer bee go around that way? That's weird. But I think I would rather have the ability to request corpses, so that, where did I put animate dead bee? Alright. So that I can reliably produce zombies. See, that worked pretty well. The zombie killer bees. I mean, they're killer bee zombies, technically, I guess, but I'm not enough of a necromancy enthusiast to be too persnickety about what they're called. We're just sort of dabbling, I suppose. Okay, so that's going all right. And this dungeon floor has not been too challenging so far, which I appreciate. Oh, good. So first pip is zombies. Oh, and a book. Zombies and a book. That's why I couldn't remember which happened. Okay, well, we already had all of those spells in our Book of Necromancy, except for Corpse Rot. And honestly, Corpse Rot is pretty cool. There's no spells that I'm really excited to forget in order to learn Corpse Rot. Also, I have Tukima's Dance. I forgot I should be using it. And Dazzling Spray. Okay, those are good spells that I should be using. I just sort of fell back on Shock, basically, forgetting I had stuff outside of the Air Elementalist book. So I think I'm going to train up some spell casting here to go with all this necromancy. To pick up Corpse Rot, mostly. What kind of corpse is this? Is this the ogre? No, it's a jackal. Who cares? I don't really have any, like, I don't have Control Undead yet. I don't have the spell levels or probably the necromancy levels. It looks like I do actually have the necromancy levels. So that's something I could pick up pretty soon, is Control Undead to deal with these undead guys. But I don't know if there's such an urgent issue. Like, I can just zap them. It's not like I'm a necromancer start and totally incapable of dealing with undead threats. That's like the main reason I end up taking Control Undead in the early game, is if, like, so some of the thing about playing Necromancer is realizing, I mean, I don't know, you can play Necromancer a lot of ways, just like you can play every background a lot of ways. You can switch around, you know, your starting skills and so on. But the way that I've found to be successful with Necromancers is to treat them like a mostly melee background with some utility spells, kind of. If you try to treat them instead like a pure spellcasting background, then you sort of quickly run out of steam. There's not enough really strong spells in your starting book to carry you. Like, Pain is your main damage dealer, and you just sort of don't have ways to damage stuff. And so you might, if you were playing a Necromancer that way, realize, oh, you know, I need control undead because I don't have a way to deal with undead threats because I'm just using pain to damage everything. But if you are playing a necromancer that way, you kind of have other problems, is my general analysis. So, I don't know. Do I need control undead? Not really. We're handling these whites with just this crappy little shock spell, so... And we can make zombies. Although killer bee zombies are not super impressive, I have to admit. Did one of the whites die at some point? Oh, yeah, I guess I zapped him to death. Okay, well, this is going fine-ish. I'm gonna have to drink some blood soon, might as well do it now. Okay, I'm a Scholar of Death. I forgot about this. If you have a necromancy title, if necromancy is your highest skill, you know, the title you get in the top right is based on your highest skill, of course, and how high that skill is. But what I had forgotten is that if you are a Kiku follower, you get different titles than ordinary necromancers do. So that's cute. Hey, alright, I don't have enough magic to deal with this ogre right now. I tried to Takima him, which was just like a little bit, is precipitous the right word there? It was a little bit overeager anyway, whatever word I was thinking of. Because I just don't have the magic points to finish him off. I don't know, his club might have finished him off all by itself. That's the great thing about Takima's Dance and ogres. Oh, these are the stairs I want right here, huh? Alright, I'm just sort of flying around aimlessly as a bat. I should have more of a goal in mind. I let that ogre get a hit on me, I think, but he missed. Okay, so now we'll Takima him, which ought to work. Cool. And yeah, okay, so that works pretty well. Takima's is just such a powerful spell against anything that it can affect. Oh, this is let's just use this different staircase here. Rest up again, and down we go. So I presume it's not like, whoa, mod, yikes. It's not a big secret, like why Kiku's ability to request corpses is good for a necromancer, right? Like we can make zombies out of them mostly, but you can also, you know, learn corpse rot, and then that makes all the corpses in sight rot and leave clouds of miasma, which is very damaging at this stage of the game. I don't know. I don't think it scales with enemy damage or anything. So like eventually, we'll probably be fighting monsters who aren't too bothered about miasma. But at this stage in the game, it can do a real number on them if you get them to stand in it for a little while. So mod, huh? What if I were to just Takima her, huh? All right. So I don't really want to fight her at the moment, not with all these gnolls around. But it seems like Takima's would have a reasonable shot of working later. But for now, we're just going to play it a little bit safer. Oh, and we can actually be Takima-ing whites. Like, it just like is practically an instant kill on these guys, because the main thing that makes them scary is their weapon. And you take that away. Yeah, it just does a bunch of damage, and that's great. Okay, but I was going to learn... Corpse Rot here, just so that I have another way to deal with, to use corpses and to deal with monsters that I can get to stand in. I don't know exactly what kind of monsters I want to use this on. I just want to use it on monsters, I guess, is my... It's not very scientific, but that's where we are right now. Wow, one shot, good work. Yeah, Tukima's is so strong. They buffed it in 0.16 maybe? It might even be 0.17, but I don't think so. When they weakened some of the other spells in, or when they otherwise weakened the Enchanter starting book and they put Tukima's into it, I think is when they buffed Tukima's. Although honestly, I'm not sure. I never really used it before the buff, so but now it just like is tremendous. The fact that it gets a big spell power. Oops, I'm accidentally fighting Mod. Let's Tukima this. I thought I already had. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to run away from this. And I don't want to Tukima her right now, because I want to do that when I have the ability to actually finish the fight, because the weapon will fade away after a while, and I'm only going to get one chance to have it friendly and on my side, so I want that to be when I can make the fight last a while and hopefully kill her. Oh, I don't have repel missiles up, so I should do that. I'm not sure when that happened. Mace, a halberd of freezing. Yikes, we don't want that anywhere near us. Yeah, so these whites are all just not really an issue at all with no weapons, and with weapons just attacking them for me. There's Mod. So now if we wanted to, we could try fighting her. And I remember we have this Wand of Hasting. We could even try polymorphing her. Although I think she might well turn into something else we don't like at all. But I doubt polymorph would really work that well. We don't have any particular evocation skill to speak of. Where'd she go? Ah! She's right there. Yeah, let's just go back upstairs. I didn't have the right terrain to be fighting in there. Now there's this stupid ghost. All right, we'll just find different stairs then. So we're going to be spending still a lot of time, I think, on every floor. And that's because we just sort of have to run away from everything and refuel our magic points often. There's a bunch of these orcs here. I'm not sure why. This isn't the entrance to the Orcish Mines. We found that already. But I don't mind, because we're getting Kiku piety for everything we kill. In addition to experience, of course, but these are fairly weak monsters, and you don't get a lot of experience for that. But whoops, stepped in the wrong place. There we go. This is where I should have gone. It's not like I hit the wrong button or something. I just sort of thought that fighting right here would be a good place, but it's not, of course. To bounce the zap, I have to stand where I'm actually standing now. And like we can animate some zombies. Cool. Orc zombies. All right. Maybe that'll help with Mod, question mark. Helmet. I'm already wearing a +1 hat of magic resistance. All right, so now we can try Tukima's. She's at range. We have a zombie or two following us. Not that that's going to make a humongous difference. But if Tukima's works, then, we can maybe help it out with some other spells. Oh, got her on the first try. Nice. So now what do I do to her? Confuse is not going to work very well. Yeah, oh my gosh, not at all. But I think the first thing we do is request some corpses from Kiku Bakudka. And one corpse, huh? All right, well, one elf is not going to make a ton of difference against mod, so I'm going to make it rot instead of, if I got a bunch of corpses, I would have tried animating them, perhaps. But that didn't happen, so there you have it. We'll just shoot some sling bullets at her, I guess. Sort of pass the time. These dang zombies are going to make it... Yeah, they're standing in the corpse that I want to animate, but it's fine. They're delaying her. Wow, that Great Mace hit her pretty hard, and she's just lightly wounded. But where did I put Corpse Rot? I didn't put it anywhere. Put it on R, please. Rot. Yeah, now she's engulfed in foul pestilence. And let's just shoot some more sling bullets to get some damage in while... yeah, this is going to do it for sure. She's slow. She's getting absolutely hammered by that Great Mace. Cool. All right. Well, that was a big help. Something I should have checked is whether I can comfortably walk through Miasma when I'm bloodless. Because I'm pretty sure that when I'm not bloodless, it's kind of a problem. I don't like Animate Dead on B, but I don't really have a better place for it. I could put it on N, but that feels really weird. I want most of my stuff on the left side of the keyboard. Well, whatever. B is fine for now. So now we have Maud, the human zombie. She's not just any human, but it's not likely to matter very much. Yeah, so I'm sort of walking too fast for my skeletons to keep up, or zombies, I suppose. And in theory, it could be right to walk more slowly so that my undead army can keep up, but it's just like they're not that strong. It's not too relevant. I don't know. They're sort of like temporary allies, I guess, that I'm just making for the fight, and maybe the one fight after that. Like okay, I made some dead guys. Now let's make some zombies out of them. Waiting around for them to follow you, it's like it's not that good. And they don't last long enough for it to be really worth anything. You know, before, when zombies were permanent, it was pretty good value to wait for them. But now there's no real point, I think. Where am I? Hello? Wow, we are experiencing some delays. Please hold. The buttons I'm pressing are doing nothing. There we go. So the fact that took a lot longer than the other commands makes me wonder if, like, maybe it's not just network lag, but the server is taking a long time, because like exploring took forever, which is something that takes a lot of turns. And I sort of thought it was just like sending me the display when exploration was over was what was taking forever, but now I'm starting to think maybe not. I don't really want all of this. Like, sky beasts are immune to electricity, which is how I'm sort of... It's my opening move these days, right? Is still electricity based. Hungry Ghost, not much of a concern, I think, as long as I can damage him some, you know, maybe confuse him, sure. That was pretty cool. And now we'll just zap him to death, I guess. Finding a lot of books this game. There's another book just up there. Which is great. I mean, is there anything else I should be learning at this moment? I think there's not, right? I basically picked up everything I want. Pain would be cool. Regeneration is good, but... Oh, I did want Control Undead, so I'll save up some levels for that. It's a very powerful effect when, you know, against the enemies where it's relevant. Being, you know, it's sort of in some ways better than, you know, instant death, because it takes an enemy, something that was an enemy, and makes it an ally temporarily, but. Oh, I've been neglecting to identify my scrolls, I guess. So a yak, multiple yaks. That's sort of a possible problem, since I can't conveniently damage them a lot. I think I'm probably going to use Corpse Rot here. How about Confuse? Oh, Confuse is pretty good. Wow. Boy, that +4 aptitude really gets it up there fast. But I still just want to isolate and fight one yak if I can. And Shock seems to be doing okay for one yak. Yeah. Okay. But yaks always travel in packs, of course. So we saw at least one more, but yeah, okay, there's at least 2 other yaks. So we're gonna just be pulling them quietly, you know, come quietly and nobody gets hurt, which is not true, but only you will get hurt, which, oops, should have gone. I'm actually going to go up this way, even though it's not tactically the best place to be, just so that other yak didn't see me. But yaks like to follow each other around, so yeah, that strategy didn't actually work very well. Let's just get out of here, go upstairs. There's no need to do anything heroic. Oh, I've already used this staircase. Whoops. I should have known better. A wyvern. Yeah. Let's just step here, I guess. And I do have, like, I have more powerful spells like Dazzling Spray and so on, but I think it's alright to be still using mostly Shock. And we should find lair on this floor, because we've explored the dungeon fully up to that point. What am I gonna cast on this guy exactly? Confuse, maybe? But then how am I gonna damage him? It seems like, oh, Dazzling Spray might do it. Although, maybe not when he's asleep. Apparently it works while he's asleep. It seems a little silly to me, right? I mean, how dazzled can you be with your eyes closed? Alright, the damage is not exactly anything to write home about, but it's working. Not quite well enough to finish him, huh? Let's throw some stones. There we go. So you can tell we're using some pretty low-powered spells, because it took like 20 MP to finish a Sky Beast. White ugly thing, huh? I feel a little bit better about an ugly thing, just because I have like a bunch of cold resist. Some, anyway. but white ugly things are the worst kind, generally. I mean, it varies, like, but the extra damage added by the cold effect is pretty big. So I think I'm going to request some corpses to deal with this after I've woken him up. I put receive corpses on capital A, whereas normally it's on lowercase a. This is actually a Cyclops is all right. I could try animating this instead of rotting it, which was my plan. I put receive corpses on capital A because in one of my practice games I was accidentally tapping A twice and getting corpses and wasting piety when I didn't want to. I'm not sure why. I guess because I was using bat form, another ability, more, fairly often, and so I was hitting A more. I don't know. Anyway, maybe I'll move it back because it's kind of a hassle for it not to be on A. But I think some zombies ought to be fine. And then we can try to confuse this ugly thing, maybe. Yeah, that worked. I'm a genius. Would everybody please? The thing about animated dead is they are so dumb. They don't take any initiative at all. Like, they won't fight stuff unless you attack it with either a ranged weapon or a melee weapon. They don't understand that spells are attacks. Or if it attacks you or them, they'll go for it. But this ugly thing is not going great. It's too bad the Cyclops zombie, that must be really slow, huh? Yeah, that's the problem, is an ugly thing is pretty fast, and the Cyclops zombie just can't keep up with a confused ugly thing who is not even really trying to escape. He's just sort of lost. But I mean, we'll get him eventually, guys. You keep it up. I believe in you. It's pretty good. Alright, Cyclops zombie, you got in a hit. You did it. Right, we can't get control undead just yet. Any corpses around? There's an adder. I can have an adder. I'm thinking I might rot this adder corpse, perhaps. But I don't know. Let's sick some zombies on him first. Okay, well, he's coming at me anyway. Oh, I should have Tukima'd him, huh? Well, let's rot. Wow. Good work, Cyclops zombie. Come on, where's... Hello? I don't know what is going on with the server. Yeah, I mean, you see all those unknown commands just show up. That was me hitting escape 5 times 10 seconds ago or something. And then it finally came through. A bunch of yaks. I still have this Cyclops zombie, which is pretty cool, I guess. So let's just go for that. Yeah. I kind of feel like I'm going to need some more or something. So let's start with some some corpses. And we could make 3 really crappy zombies. Or rather, 2 crappy skeletons and a crappy zombie. Or something like that. But rot is obviously way better for that right now. So I'm going to back up here. And wait for yaks to fill in this sort of area so that I can rot them. Great. Now we rot. Yeah, that does so much damage. And I think I think it'll dissuade the other yaks from coming closer, which is not something I want. I want them to just charge forward at me into the miasma, but it looks like they're not going to do that. There's another yak corpse that I can use. But I don't think animating it is the answer. Just using more rot is the thing to do. Whoops. Not going very well. Yeah, I did that really badly. Like, none of them even got hit by the rot. I gotta get out of here. Uh-oh, I don't know how to get out of here. Even dumber. Okay. We're gonna be all right. I just need to think this through. So I think in the worst case, I move fast enough that I can just circle around these bats and go back, these yaks, and go back to the same staircase. But I probably just shouldn't have tried to fight there. This yak may well be dying now. Maybe, that would be nice. Okay, so they're coming at me now, but I can circle around. Yeah, he's healthy again. Yeah, this area is just big enough to get around those two yaks, but the other two did not really take the bait, huh? Okay. But this time they will. They're all in this big area now, and all in one big clump. So I'm gonna kite around them again. Kite is the wrong word, it's not what I'm doing, but I'm gonna circle around here. Yeah. So that's evidence of a fight gone wrong, really. I shouldn't have to do this, because I shouldn't have taken that fight there. And I only killed like one yak, maybe it was two, I guess. And if I have to, you know, I can take fights like that. Kill one yak, come back, kill another yak. But I'm sure I could have done that better. And let's finally identify these scrolls, like I was saying I should do. Mapping. And vulnerability, okay. All right, so which staircase do we want to take now? They're kind of all three of them not that great, aren't they? Yeah, this one seems okay though, I guess. The one with the unseen horror might be the best. Go. And I should be using like some of my other spells too, I think. Like, I don't know, Dazzling Spray and Confuse both might have helped in that yak fight. The yak attack, if you will. It's not even like a good enough rhyme to be funny. I don't know. I just want to rest, Mr. Killer Bee. If you could leave me alone for a minute. Okay, now I don't mind fighting a Killer Bee. And still don't have 4 spell levels. I don't know where these Killer Bees came from. I'm pretty sure I cleared the whole floor. I mean, you get respawns. Or not. Respawn implies it's the same enemy. But you just get more spawns once if you just stick around for a while. On a floor after finishing it. And even just while finishing, like enemies gradually spawn for a while. And if you wait around for a very long time, the game is like, hey, you know, quit trying to farm experience on this crappy dungeon level, and it gives you like a very dangerous enemy. I've never actually spent enough time on a floor to trigger that sort of thing, I don't think. You have to really be doing it on purpose, whereas once I've cleared a dungeon floor, it's like the game tries to discourage boring behavior by not making it profitable, and just scumming it up on one floor forever is not fun. So it's not. They try to make it not productive, and you can game the system some ways, I believe, but mostly it's not great for you. I don't like the idea of a manticore very much. It doesn't have a weapon. It's got a lot of health. You know, anything with a weapon, I feel fairly competent in dealing with. But, okay. I managed to get into melee range with him, which I'm honestly no longer sure was a great idea. Yeah, I need some corpses to work with. Are there any under him? No, of course not. He's got a ranged attack too, so if I back up, he might actually not follow me. Okay, good, he did. So now I can corpse rot. And that should cause him a lot of problems. Yeah. So that just absolutely demolishes the living enemies that we see at this stage of the game. Oh, what happened to those? There were skeletons there a minute ago. Which, I mean, we can't do that all the time because it does cost piety to get corpses. But, you know, most of what we're using Kiku for a substantial portion of the game is delivering corpses. So if we use up our piety doing the thing we need piety for, fine. I don't mind one bit. I think at 4 stars we gain the ability to invoke torment by preying on a corpse, and if you know, especially if we can become bloodless, that's really valuable because we're torment immune. So this fire drake is like 100% guarding the entrance to lair. That's just like the only reason we would see a fire drake, and that lava formation. Like I've seen that vault before. It's a fairly common lair vault. So I'm just not going to deal with him for now. I'd like to get to lair, but it's not urgent. And I don't want a fire drake breathing fire on me while I try to deal with other crap. Okay, so let's take this back to a staircase maybe. Not as effective as I would have hoped. They just, the other yak followed him, I guess. How'd we do? 2 corpses. Both dragon corpses, huh? Well, that ought to make fine zombies. Up you get, guys. Up and at 'em. No rest for the wicked. Yeah, that's doing good work. Can I? There's no place I can hit them. Nowhere I can aim to hit them both, huh? That's too bad. But with a yak and 2 model dragon zombies, I feel actually pretty good about dealing with the other stuff on this floor. This should give us a big head start in every fight. And maybe we snowball, maybe we don't. But I'm going to try to make use of this while I have it, because they will eventually just fall apart. And I'm not going to get dragons every time I ask for corpses. Okay, so the trick is going to be getting the fire drake to come to us, because we don't want to fight him there. You know, there's lava, which is going to be a problem. All right, everyone, go get the fire drake, please. And as for myself, I'm just gonna chill out back here. Yep. All right. Killed one of my zombies and now another, but he's about to bite the dust. Good. And we grabbed a killer bee. And now that's the only zombie we have, I think. So we're taking out these yaks. I still would love some higher power spells. Like, if my next Kiku book contained Bolt of Draining, I would not be sad. But it might not, and we're not getting it for a little while anyway. Just, you know, a way to use my necromancy instead of my air magic to do damage would be great. Bolt of Draining is not the best spell in the world, but it fits our aptitudes a lot better, and it's, you know, higher level. Could we cast a level 5 2-school spell right now? I don't know, maybe not, but it wouldn't take a lot more investment, I don't think. And we have Static Discharge too. Almost dead, almost dead. Well, there's a challenge. I guess just do that. Got one, got two, nice. And there's some corpses around here that we will happily make into yak zombies and get rolling. So it looks like, I mean, we're not by any means through with Dungeon 11, and actually we aren't nearly as close to through as I thought we were when I started that sentence. But, you know, with the zombies, like, it seems like our power level is high enough that that I feel pretty okay about finishing the floor. Kobold Demonologist. Well, let's just make some more zombies. Whee! Nice, I can hit them all. Of course, the only one that really matters is the Kobold Demonologist. He's, you know, as soon as he dies, everything else is going to die too. Or the imps are just going to vanish, rather. But in the meantime, you know, doing some damage to them is fine. Are you zombies, like, having some issues there? There we go. Okay. So we can animate this guy as well, and just keep on rolling. And I don't know if it's necessary, but I have been, like, trying to start each fight with using my sling, because I know that makes it more obvious to the zombies what we should be fighting. They can't see undead though, so they're not going to really help out with this unseen horror anyway. So what do I do about him? Static Discharge might do some damage to him, but I think the better thing to do is fly to that little corridor to the southwest and trap him with some rot, perhaps. Kiku, give me some corpses. Where are they? Here, here, here. Okay. And let's not be a bat anymore and cast Corpse Rot. Yeah, he's not going to make it. And look, the zombies are even going to trap him in. They don't know he's there, but they're following me. And that's going to do it for you, Mr. Unseen Horror. So if I was just trying to walk into some pestilence. Oh, look. I can walk through foul pestilence. Doesn't hurt at all. So, okay, having 3 pips of negative energy resistance and poison immunity seems to make it completely harmless. And you can tell that also from the fact that the cloud indicator is gray instead of red. It means it's a neutral cloud, not one that'll hurt you. So that's good to know. It's good to know that I can just, if I'm backed into a corner or something, I can request corpses, rot them all, and just stand there. I think if I were less thirsty than this, it would be a much bigger issue. I think if I had, like, well, actually, no, there's no pestilence around right now, so I can't test it, but I think I have to be near bloodless because that's when I get 3 pips of negative energy resistance. I think at only 2, it's probably bad for me. But I don't actually know. Maybe it's fine either way. Maybe you just need 1 pip, but I don't think that's true. Let's just make a zombie out of that, right? How much blood do we have? Only 2. Yeah, I'll go bottle this. I guess I'll also fight this guy with just lots of dazzling sprays, apparently. Yeah, I really could use a better damage spell. Yeah, so I guess we'll bottle this adder and animate the Sky Beast, along with getting an adder skeleton, since it happened to leave a skeleton behind. Sure, so we'll fight this guy. Shouldn't be much of a challenge, I would think, although, I guess, yeah, well, an adder skeleton was not going to stand up against a giant frog zombie, no matter how good a necromancer we are. So the spell power of your animate skeleton and so on has no bearing on the power of skeletons get generated. You just get like a centaur zombie or whatever, and that's like a monster that exists in the game. So that's what you get. It's one reason that like a small investment into necromancy can really pay off, because when you get late, speaking of small investments, why am I still working on my necromancy? And I can relax spellcasting too. And let's just go back to fighting and dodging. Stay alive, stay alive. That's what we got to do now. Once we get another book, we can think about investing in new spells, but our spells at the moment are fine. We can learn Control Undead as soon as we want. Or even we could pick up Lightning Bolt. I think it's probably too soon. The spell power on that is not going to be high enough that it'll hit often enough, and I don't want to spend 5 mana on not hitting anything. But in the meantime, we've got this Unseen Horror to deal with. And I don't really have a convenient way to deal with him. Like, that corridor existing earlier really helped out, because I could pull him in there and use Corpse Rot, which is like easily killing him. Here, I can pin him, like I can stand here, but I can't force him to stand in any one place to hit me, if you see what I mean. There's a choke point here, but I can't use it to trap him. Can they fly? They can, right? Oh, they can't. I never knew that. Okay. Well, that sort of means I can use this lava thing to trap him in the same way that I did earlier. I always thought they could fly. That's cool. Wait, what? Wasn't this... Oh, I just didn't see. I thought there was lava here, but there was just clouds, and so I got apparently confused. Okay, whatever. So we're gonna unbat. And back up a tad, right? To here. And then rot. So now... Oh, geez, I should have been more careful. I guess rot probably overrides smoke. So I was thinking I should maybe be more careful about making sure there wasn't already a smoke cloud when I tried to create... Oh, even 2 pips makes it totally harmless. No, there's just no... Yeah, there's pestilence right here. Okay, all right. Good to know. So 2 pips is enough. That means 1 pip is probably also enough. So as long as I'm not full for some reason, I should be able to use miasma pretty effectively. And I'm going to do it again right here. This troll is a bit of a big threat. Oh, come on, Kiku. You couldn't put the corpse in a slightly more convenient location for me? And there's a mangled troll corpse. Look at that. But we are going to lure him into this foul pestilence and zap the heck out of him. Maybe, in fact, with dazzling spray. Yeah, down he goes. So this is still slow going. I hope the game is going to speed up because it's certainly fun to play carefully and to feel like I'm alive because I'm playing well and not getting myself into dangerous situations by playing quickly. Like that's nice. But having to pay this much attention to everything all game just to like maximize how I use some crappy spells, I don't know. It's not my idea of a good time, necessarily. And I don't think we will have to. Eventually, we should get... Like, this is mostly because I'm not able to melee anything. I think is the reason why everything is just going so slowly. But once we pick up some better conjurations, or just better necromancy spells in general, perhaps, I think things ought to pick up. Let's back up, dazzle him again. He keeps losing me. Just like, I mean, you're blind, but you don't remember which direction you were going, even? What about dazzling this guy? Bounce on him? Oh, maybe... I don't need to be using corpses up on these guys, apparently. Maybe I do. I don't know. The fact that I can see undead, like, see undead, geez, some Sixth Sense stuff going on here, that I can see invisible, makes them a lot less threatening than they otherwise would be, but I was not quite sure how much less threatening. And it's improving my accuracy a lot, which is a big... You know, a lot of characters, when you notice an unseen horror, like something invisible is attacking you and seems to be moving very strangely, it's really hard to even get a hit in on them, and meanwhile they're just pummeling you because you can't see them to dodge. But it seems to be going just fine, given that we can see undead. I keep saying that, man. See undead. Does not make any sense. Knock it off. Okay. So more sky beasts. I just don't like those. I wonder if it's time to just head into lair. I mean, the rest of this floor is not... doesn't seem to be a big problem necessarily, like in terms of danger, but it is a hassle. Okay, fine. There's lair. Or rather, there's the dungeon finished. So let's head to lair. And, jeez. We'll call it a wrap. We only did like... we did like 2 floors this video, and it took an hour. Ugh. This game is going to be a slog. I'm sorry things are taking so long, guys, but I'm just having to use really low power stuff and run around a lot. So I'm hoping it picks up pretty soon. Anyway, thanks for watching.